everybody. Welcome to Depot TV. I'm your host, Sherry, Executive Director of the Depot, and we have such great guests on today. I wanted to stop and take a minute to tell you a little about each of them because I just think they're pretty tremendous. First is Barron Ryan, and you're going to absolutely be amazed and captivated by his music. He is one of the most creative people we have had at the Depot on Depot TV and in the Depot to perform. I have to tell a story before we get started. We moved a baby grand piano inside the Depot for Barron Ryan to perform. It was an absolute feat. It was magical. I don't know how really it happened. I think we defied the laws of physics and gravity to make that happen. But when he was in, and he filled the room with his music and his original compositions, we were captivated for 2 hours. We have been watching his live feeds. We have been watching as he creates this new album, and it's just nothing short of brilliant. We're honored to have him on the show tonight. He's pretty great. And Brad Price, we get to see a little bit more of how that painting's coming along. A couple of weeks back, we watched him paint for an hour. We're going to see some progress on that painting. And I'm not sure everybody knows that Brad Price is one of the most well-respected impressionists, Southwest impressionists that we've got in America. He is widely collected, and we are honored to have him be a part of what we do at the Depot and to show his work for us. He's got a style that's all his own, and he's just brilliant with color and technique. And I hope you get to enjoy him watching a painting. And then there's Ken. Ken, who has been a train volunteer at the Depot for years, helping host train customers and greet them in the morning and make sure they get safely onto their trains. And Ken knows so much about the history of that building that's such a part of our community. And we get to hear a little from Ken. It's just a selfless act of him doing what he loves to do that he's going to share those stories with us. And we're glad he does. That's it. Enjoy it. Depot TV. Hi, everybody. We are here with Barron Ryan, who the Smithsonian has called one of the 10 innovators to watch in 2021. And he's right here in Oklahoma, and he's here with us on Depot TV. Welcome, Barron.
Thank you for having me. I'm happy to be here.
I'm so excited to have you. As I was saying before the interview, one of my favorite Depot moments ever was us finding a way to get a baby grand into the Depot so that you could play for us. And
And
that
after,
concert was amazing.
well, thank you. I'm glad after all that work that you still feel that it was a good idea, because it could easily go the other way.
It was absolutely a good idea. It was. I'm a big fan of your music, and I would like to maybe start by letting everybody know uh, what it is you do. You are a musician, and where did all of that start for you?
It started at home. My
Yeah,
father's a professional pianist, and my mom is
that's
also
cool.
musical. She would play piano for my sisters and me to sing to nursing homes and assisted living facilities around Tulsa, Oklahoma,
Wonderful.
which is where I'm from. And so I started taking piano when I was 4 from my dad, and I never stopped. I kept going. And my connection to Norman is that I went to OU for 4 years and graduated with a piano performance degree in 2009. So I hold
2009.
Norman, I hold Norman dear to my heart.
Oh, well, there are many of us in Norman that hold you dear as well. So yeah, uh, that's amazing. I love that you got to grow up around music. I think that's so impactful and so powerful, and really fortunate for humans who get a chance to grow up kind of steeped in music
Hmm.
in their world. And it has made you, as the Smithsonian said, an innovator. Um, and let's talk. So let's go straight to the new record, because that is where you're pouring some of that innovative energy right now.
Yes, it started a couple of years ago because I was
Yeah.
looking for new repertoire to learn. I'm always looking for an interesting story to tell. That's really the music is a way through which I can tell a story.
Yeah.
And if I'm going to learn a lot of music, I need it to be worth it. And so I had played classical music by George Gershwin that was jazz
Mm,
influenced. And I had played jazz music that I had made classical by writing it down, so to
yeah.
speak. And I was looking for the next step. I thought, okay, jazz music was outstanding, but
Mhm.
it started 100 years ago. There should be there should be more classical music that's been written that was inspired by other American dance styles since then,
Mm,
like pop and soul and funk. But when I went to find those styles, I didn't find any. And so I thought, well, shoot, I guess I'm going to have to write it. If it doesn't exist, then I'll just make it up. And so this music, the album's called First of Its Kind, and it's classical music, technically speaking, because it's all written out and it's virtuosic. You have to have a good amount of technique to play it, but
yes.
it's supposed the first half of it is supposed to sound like piano arrangements of popular songs you've just never heard before. You think, oh, this feels familiar. This feels like something I'd hear on the radio. I just I don't know what it's called. That's how it should feel in that first
Wow.
half of the record.
Oh, I'm getting goosebumps listening to you talk about that. I love that there's a there's a bravery in being willing to step into that space, in being willing to connect that you see probably should be connected and nobody got there yet, and being willing to step in and do that. Did you feel a sense of that stepping into a new space? Uh,
Well, kind of. I wasn't sure and I'm still not completely sure because I can't know every music that's ever been made. So
sure.
maybe somebody's already done it in some similar fashion. I'm not aware that they have. And so I felt like it was an adventure. I didn't feel like I didn't feel afraid or think that, oh no, I'm going to have to overcome this hurdle. I
Right,
was
right.
excited to do it, but it was an adventure to go on. You go out into the unknown, and
Mhm.
then I tried to come back with something with musical treasure that was worthwhile. So yeah, I did feel a bit of an adventure, a bit of courage, I suppose.
Yeah, I that's wonderful. And I love that you mentioned that there's, when you're working with music that's classical music, there is a tremendous amount of technique involved. These are all very deliberate choices, as opposed to sometimes when you're playing more popular music or rock and roll, and sometimes you're riffing or jamming, and it's not like every note specified, like classical music is when you're putting that together. Did you find challenges in I'm trying to imagine myself trying to put pop or funk or something into a classical space. And how did you begin to pull technique from funk and apply that to piano?
So I started with, and now we're going to the second half of the record, which is
Okay.
not, it's the, so there are two major works. The first half is called Sweet Thing, and it features
Okay.
4 of those piano arrangement songs. The second half is a sonata, and a sonata is just a way of organizing multiple different moods of music into one work. So it's 28 minutes long. There are 4 different movements, but the movements are all connected musically. So the funkiest of the tunes is the last movement of the sonata. And basically what I did was I had a melody that I was working with based on the melodies from previously in the sonata, but I knew that I wanted to treat it like a James Brown funk tune. And so I would listen to, let's see, what was the tune that I listened to? I Got You by James Brown. And I would listen to it and I thought, okay, well, these are the parts that I need to fit in. There's the melody part, there's the bass line, there's a guitar, there are the horns. And so I assigned those parts to different registers within the piano. The guitar is up high. The melody is in the middle with an accompanying line. The horns are a little bit below that, and the bass is obviously lower. And then I filled in other notes when there was space. And so it was just, okay, well, these are the different instruments that I need to mimic. And then once I've mimicked those instruments, do I need to add anything else to replicate the feel, even if when you translate it to piano, you can't really play a tambourine on a piano. You have to just play a note somewhere. So I had to fill in sometimes when there wasn't an instrument that I was specifically trying to replicate, a pitched instrument anyway.
And how long, when you start mapping and you start working on a piece like that, how long until you get from the idea of the piece to something that you would feel like is close to, that's what I'm trying to get to? How long does it take you to get there?
Yeah, it doesn't take to get from idea to from nothing to a few seconds is not it's not terribly long. It's maybe a half hour or an hour. But then at least it was, and I'm just guessing, I don't remember, it's been a couple of years. But then to get from there to an entire piece is a lot longer. I view composing like putting together a jigsaw puzzle. You get moments of inspiration and you think, oh, I'm definitely going to do that. And those are your edge pieces and your corner pieces. But then the rest of it, that's maybe 10, 15%. The rest of it is an engineering problem. You think, okay, well, I have this moment that I need to incorporate. How do I fit it in? And then how do I develop it? So I would have these 10, 15 seconds worth of music that took me maybe an hour to develop. But then I have to develop that idea. It has to come back later and change somewhat. And so I think, okay, and then at the last time it needs to get really big. So how do I change it so that it gets big there? And that's more of the engineering problem. You know where you start and where you're going, but you don't know exactly how you need to fit in the other pieces to get there.
Wow. I don't even know where to go from there. I'm stunned by the thought of you putting that together. I just, for full disclosure, music theory, University of Oklahoma, when I was a vocal performance major, and we used to do big analysis of, structural analysis of musical pieces and try to write out parts. I'm having some nightmarish flashbacks of that.
Oh no.
No, but I applaud you for this endeavor, for this journey or adventure that you're on. And is the album out now?
It is out. It's on all major streaming platforms. It's also available for free on my website because I published it and the compositions in public domain. So if you want to use them for video, for choreographing a dance, for whatever,
Oh.
just go to my website, barronryan.com, and mouse over the shop tab, and you can get the sheet music and the album itself.
That is spectacular. And I am, on behalf of everybody who's going to get to enjoy that music and use it for something, thank you for being willing to put it out there. That's pretty terrific. All right, everybody, go find First of Its Kind and stick around here on Depot TV, and we'll have some more music with Barron Ryan. Barron, thank you so much for being here with us today.
It's my pleasure. Thanks for having me.
All right, come to Norman again soon, friend. We would love to have you come play.
It's a deal.
All right. Hi, guys. It's me, Sherry. And guess what this is? It's a commercial. Actually, it's a commercial for commercials. We have time on Depot TV and space, and we need some partners to help support Depot TV and keep it going. But you know what we got? We got this platform and audiences every week. And if you sell a thing or provide a service or just want to support us and say thanks, or if you have a shout out or something you want people to know about, you could become a partner in the Depot and have some commercial time of your very own. So give us a call at 405-307-9320 or email us at office@normandepot.org and find out how this commercial space could be your commercial space. Thanks.
Some of this background foliage, and here again I'm just painting black lines up next to the colors that I've already done. And so the direction that a color goes is the direction that the black line goes. I'm using the broad part of this flat brush because the detail is not as critical back here. And that area comes right down into the top of my chamisa. So you can see how this red that I painted underneath now looks like it's red lines of different shapes. I think which makes it very interesting. Come on over here. Making a little now the further I get to the right, I'm going to pick up some of my brown that I mixed. I mixed this with red and with yellow ochre. I'm going to use the brown for my lines over in this area. So it's still a dark line, but it is not black. And I'm following the lines that I've already made. So this has a little bit more of a brownish tint to it. I'm going to switch back to black for these areas back here in the back. And this area down here in the blue. Putting in some horizontal lines to show that that's part of the snowy texture. Okay, now we're going to go sparse here. This area is lighter. And then right in here, we're going to go darker. So I will I'll use a larger brush and fill that in with some darks. I'm going to go back in there later with blues and purples. So a little darker, need to get the shape. Of the darks. This is dark over here. And this black that I'm painting is not very thick. You tend to want to make your highlights thicker and your darkers thinner, because that way you can paint your highlights over the darks. Okay. I think I'm going to do the same thing right here. Now we'll go back to our thinner brush. Put some nice bold strokes in there so that it looks the same. And this allows us also to work our dark area into our lighter color by using strokes. It's nice to have this dark area right at the top of the chemises because that pulls them forward. Make some horizontal strokes here to give a sense of ground to these areas. we'll finish this side over here with our black. Here I'm following our strokes we've already made. And I'm using black to direct the eye and follow the same strokes that are already there. Sometimes you'll have two areas, two strokes cross each other, and it makes a nice look if you paint the holes between those strokes with black. So you can see we don't darken the painting by mixing black with any colors. You darken the painting by going with very dark lines and treating it almost like a pen and ink drawing. I like using directional strokes like this because it tells the viewer's eye what to do, how to move through the painting. Beginning to add just a little bit of detail here. And as I move through this part of the plant, I allow the stroke to get a little bit lighter so that it blends more with the chamisa. And put some of these strokes in and let them blend a little bit more. All right, so now we're going to use our brown a little bit more. And we'll go in here with this slightly different color. Put some more detail in, but this time it has a brownish look to it. It tends to blend a little bit. Put some detail up in the shadow and highlight areas up in the top. Give it a little bit more character. Like this. I'm going to go in with some more of the pink. We'll add some pure strokes of pink. And I probably can't tell this, but when I put pink up against the yellow, it vibrates. Colors vibrate, which creates tremendous interest. Doesn't take much of it. It's right up in the highlights. Just makes it come to life. And I can add it anywhere I want. Anywhere I want that vibration to exist. Okay. I'm going to go back in with some thick light blue. Put in some strokes in places like this, down inside. This brightens up that blue. We use that to spice up some of these lines down toward the bottom. Places where we see through the plants. Once again, I can take this and thin up some of the black over here on top of the chamisa. I can paint into some blue into my bushes. Give the idea that the snow is showing through. That. Okay. Now, just look around. What do we need? Well, need some more pure white. And this will be mostly to paint some white inside the plant to show the snow in the background coming through like this. Allows the plant to take on some transparency. And when you've painted like this and the paint is still wet, it is important to paint the white on thick, because if you don't, it'll blend with the color of the paint that's already on there. Okay. So anywhere I want the snow to show through, I'm putting these strokes. I want to thin up this little stroke like that. Open that up. This seems out of place. There we go. So now we're just correcting. We're looking for places where we need some white. Building up the snow. the way this is going. We're going to take some of our purple, our deep purple, use that as a line. We're going to continue what we're doing over here, but with deep purple. Now this purple will make that yellow come to life. We use it in some of these areas that we haven't darkened. Wherever we use it, it looks good because it's near yellow. So we'll go back up here, and this is a perfect place for more purple. All of our dark areas that we've made, we're going to put strokes of pure purple, violet. The name of this is Violet Hue, straight out of the tube. Now this purple provides a nice background in the painting as a complementary color. It provides a nice counterpoint to the yellow. It also cools off our shadows. It allows us the sense that we can see into the shadows. And we'll do the same thing down in the deep shadows here. And we'll mix a little white with it to give us a lighter color. And we'll use this in a similar way to what we did with the pink. And we'll go in and we'll use it to make some finishing touches in our chamisa. These will be mostly down in the darker areas, but occasionally we'll allow it to come into the light as well. Just a lighter version of the same violet. We'll use a little bit of that here for some lighter detail and the brush in the background. Gives some tiny ideas of what the brush might be doing up here. All right, we have one more thing to do, and that is we're going to take some of our blue. This will be our phthalo or cyan blue, and mix it with a little bit of white. We're going to keep it bright, similar to the original blue that we used before. We're going to go in and we're going to make some highlights over dark areas and dark lines over white areas to define our blues with strong strokes. And this will give us some directional strokes in our whites and our light blues, so that they look similar to the types of strokes that we've done inside the chamisa. If you look at Van Gogh's work, you'll notice that in his roads, he uses this type of strong line to define the direction of roads. That's what we're doing with this blue. We use a little of that down inside here as well. And now, up in the top, we'll use some of this blue in the deepest, darkest parts of our brush to cool them off and to push back our bushes into the distance. A little in our shadows. Make those cooler. And we're done. Thank you for joining me. I hope you've enjoyed seeing this painting being painted. Come to my workshop, come to my show, and we'll say goodbye for now.
This photo is kind of interesting, and as I understand, it was taken in the era of 1916. I'm not sure about the exact date. But the interesting thing about this, you'll notice, taken from across the tracks, showing the depot and the tracks, is the crowd of people all around. And what I have been given to believe is that this was after Oklahoma beat Texas at the OU Texas football game, and the crowd is gathered waiting for the OU team to return. As now they wait at the airport when the team is coming back from a big game. They were waiting at the train depot to greet the OU football team as the victorious Sooners returned to Norman.
guys, it's me, Sherry. And guess what this is? It's a commercial. Actually, it's a commercial for commercials. We have time on Depot TV in space, and we need some partners to help support Depot TV and keep it going. But you know what we got? We got this platform and audiences every week. And if you sell a thing or provide a service or just want to support us and say thanks, or if you have a shout out or something you want people to know about, you could become a partner in the Depot and have some commercial time of your very own. So give us a call at 405-307-9320 or email us at office@normandepot.org and find out how this commercial space could be your commercial space. Thanks.
to celebrate another day of living. I just want to celebrate another day of life. Put my faith in the people, but the people let me down. So I turn the other way and I carry on anyhow. That's why I'm telling you I just want to celebrate. Yeah, yeah, another day of living. Yeah, I just want to celebrate another day of life. Had my hand on the dollar bill, and the dollar bill flew away. But the sun is shining down on me, and it's here to stay. That's why I'm telling you I just want to celebrate. Yeah, yeah, another day of living. Yeah, I just want to celebrate another day of living. I just want to celebrate another day of life. Don't let it all get you down, oh no. Don't let it turn you around and around and around and around and around. Well, I can't be bothered with sorrow, and I can't be bothered with hate, no, no. I'm using up my time, I'm feeling fine every day, yeah. That's why I'm telling you, I just wanna celebrate. Oh yeah, I just wanna celebrate another day. Oh, I just want to celebrate another day of living. I just want to celebrate another day of life. Don't let it all get you down, oh no. Don't let it turn you around and around and around and around and around. Oh no, don't let it turn you around. I just wanna celebrate. I just wanna celebrate. I just wanna celebrate. Celebrate now. I just wanna celebrate. Celebrate, celebrate. I just wanna celebrate. Come on, everybody. I just wanna celebrate. Come on, let's take it out.
Wow, that was really close.
It had some mojo.
Oh yeah, the mojo I feel a lot now. Now that I don't have to worry about looking. Okay. One-handed claps.
Oh my goodness. That's what it sounds like.